People have been talking about the parable of the sower for 2,000 years. It's one of Jesus' most famous stories, and for good reason. It's simple on the surface. A farmer throws seed. Some of it grows, some of it doesn't. We get it, but that's not what it's really about. Not at all. This story isn't about farming. It's not about agriculture in ancient Israel. It's a story about you. It's a story about me. It's a story about the human heart and how it responds to truth. And Jesus told this story to a huge crowd of people, and then later, he explained it in private to his disciples. That's a big clue. It means there's a surface meaning for everyone and a deeper meaning for those who really want to listen. The story is about listening. In fact, it's framed by the idea of hearing. Before he even starts, Jesus says, listen. And after he's done, he says, he who has ears, let him hear. He's not talking about the physical act of sound waves hitting our eardrums. He's talking about a kind of hearing that goes deep, a hearing that changes you. The whole parable is an explanation for why some people hear this way and others don't. It explains why the same message spoken by the same person can produce radically different results in different people. So let's just walk through it. Not like a sermon, just like a conversation. Let's look at the story and what it says about us. The setup is simple. A sower goes out to sow. That's his job. He's not complicated. He just does his work. He has a bag of seed, and he walks through his field flinging the seed everywhere. He's not carefully planting each one. He's broadcasting it. He throws it liberally, almost wastefully. It lands everywhere. On the good parts of the field and the bad parts. This is the first important detail. The sower isn't stingy. The message he carries isn't exclusive. It's for anyone and everyone. The seed, Jesus later explains, is the word of the kingdom. It's the message about God, about his reality, about how to live in that reality. It's the truth. And notice, the seed is always the same. There's nothing wrong with the seed. It's good seed. It has life in it. It has the potential to grow into something amazing. The variable in the story is not the sower or the seed. The variable is the soil, the ground, the heart. And this is where it gets personal. Jesus describes 4 types of soil. 4 types of hearts, 4 ways people respond when they hear the truth. The first kind of ground is the path. This is the hard-packed dirt at the edge of the field where people walk all the time. It's beaten down, compressed, and impenetrable. The seed just lies on the surface. It can't get in. It's exposed. So what happens? The birds come and eat it. Gone. Just like that. Jesus says this is the person who hears the message of the kingdom and does not understand it. The truth comes, but it just bounces off. Their heart is hard. Why is it hard? The parable doesn't say exactly. Maybe from cynicism, maybe from past hurts. Maybe from intellectual pride. Maybe they just heard it all before and are closed off. Their mind is made up. The ground has been trampled by so many other ideas, so many other voices, so many footsteps of daily life, that there's no room for anything new to take root. And because they don't understand it, because it just sits there on the surface of their mind, the evil one comes and snatches it away. This is a chilling detail. It's not just that they forget it, it's actively removed. It's stolen. The person might hear a profound truth, feel a momentary flicker of interest, and then, an hour later, it's gone. A distraction comes, a text message, a worry about work, a desire for a snack. The bird swoops in, and the seed is gone before it ever had a chance. We've all met people like this. Maybe we've been this person. You share something meaningful, and you get a blank stare. Or a quick nod and a change of subject. The words just don't land. There's no purchase. The heart is a well-worn path, and the truth is just birdseed. It's a tragic picture, but it's a real one. It's the person who is spiritually deaf. They hear the sounds, but they don't grasp the music. Then there's the second kind of ground, the rocky soil. This one is tricky. This one looks promising at first. The seed falls on a place where there's a thin layer of dirt over a shelf of rock. Because the soil is shallow, it heats up quickly in the sun. The seed sprouts immediately. A little green shoot pops up. It looks like success. This person hears the word and at once receives it with joy. This is the emotional responder, the enthusiast. They go to a conference, a retreat, or a powerful service, and they are moved. They feel something, they're excited, they raise their hands, they tell everyone they've had a life-changing experience. It's all joy and light. And for a moment, it's real. The plant is growing. But there's a problem. There's no depth of soil. There's a hard layer of rock just beneath the surface. So the plant can't grow roots. Roots are what anchor a plant. Roots are what seek out water and nutrients deep in the ground. The roots are the hidden, unseen part that gives the visible part its life and stability. Without roots, the plant is completely dependent on surface conditions. So what happens? Jesus says when trouble or persecution comes because of the word, this person immediately falls away. The sun comes out, not the gentle sun that helps things grow, but the scorching, midday sun. The heat of trial, this doesn't have to be a big, dramatic persecution. It could be anything that tests their newfound faith. A friend makes fun of them. A family member questions them. Following the new path becomes inconvenient. It costs them something, their time, their popularity, their comfort. The initial joy was based on feeling, not on deep understanding or conviction. It was a surface-level experience. And when the feelings fade or when a challenge appears, there's nothing to hold them steady. The plant that shot up so quickly withers just as fast. It has no resilience. It has no root system to draw strength from when things get tough. This is the picture of a shallow faith. It's a faith based on the experience, not the truth. It's a faith that loves the mountaintop but can't handle the valley. It looks alive, but it's fragile. We see this all the time. People who are on fire for a month and then they're gone. Their life looks no different than before. The green shoot withers because there was nothing underneath to sustain it. The rock of self-interest, or fear of man, or love of comfort was never broken up. The joy was real, but it wasn't rooted, and so it dies in the heat. The third ground is maybe the most common and the most dangerous for many of us today. This is the thorny ground. The seed falls among thorns. It sprouts. It grows roots. This is different from the rocky soil. This plant is established. It has life. It's a real plant, but something else is growing in the same soil. Weeds, thorns. And as the plant and the thorns grow up together, the thorns begin to take over. They wrap around the plant, they block its sunlight, they suck up all the water and nutrients from the soil. Eventually, the plant is choked. It's still alive technically, but it's weak, spindly, and it produces no fruit. It becomes unfruitful. What are these thorns? Jesus is very specific. He says they are the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth. Let that sink in. The things that choke out a vibrant spiritual life aren't necessarily big, evil sins. They are the ordinary, everyday pressures and temptations that we all face. First, the worries of this life, anxiety, stress, the constant pressure to perform, to keep up, to manage everything. Worry about our kids, our job, our health, our future, the mental load of running a household. The fear of missing out, the endless to-do lists that keep our minds spinning. These things aren't inherently evil. They are part of being human. But when they dominate our hearts, they become thorns. They consume our mental and emotional energy. There's no space left for God. Our prayers become rushed lists of anxieties. Our time for reflection gets squeezed out by the next urgent task. The truth we once heard gets suffocated under a pile of legitimate, but ultimately secondary, concern. The plant is still there, but it can't breathe. Second, the deceitfulness of wealth. This isn't just about being a millionaire. It's about the lure of wealth and possessions. The desire for more. The belief that if we just had a better car, a bigger house, a higher paying job, a nicer vacation, then we would be happy and secure. And it's a lie. It's deceitful because it promises life but delivers bondage. It chokes out the spiritual life because it reorients our priorities. We start making decisions based on financial gain instead of spiritual principle. We work longer hours, not out of necessity, but to afford a lifestyle we think we need. Our pursuit of God's kingdom gets replaced by the pursuit of our own little empire of stuff. The thorns of consumerism and materialism grow thick and fast, and they strangle the life out of the word in our hearts. The plant becomes a shadow of what it was meant to be. It exists, but it bears no fruit. It doesn't produce the love, joy, peace, patience, and kindness that are the marks of a healthy spiritual life. It's just there. A choked, fruitless existence. This is a subtle and terrifying picture. The person in the thorny ground might still go to church, they might still look the part, but inwardly their spiritual vitality is being choked to death by the very things our culture holds up as important: success, security, and stuff. They haven't rejected the word, they've just allowed other things to become more important. The thorns won. Finally, we get to the fourth soil. The good soil, thank goodness. After all that bad news, there's some good news. The seed falls on good soil. And what does it do? It produces a crop. It yields a harvest, some 100, some 60, some 30 times what was sown. So what makes the soil good? Is this person just naturally better than the other? Are they more intelligent, more moral, more righteous? No. Jesus doesn't say that. He gives a very simple definition. The good soil is the one who hears the word and understands it. That's it. It's about the posture of the heart. The hardness of the path is gone. The shallowness of the rock is gone. The clutter of the thorns is gone. This heart is prepared. It's receptive. It's open. When the seed of truth comes, this person doesn't just hear it, they let it sink in. They ponder it. They wrestle with it. They allow it to penetrate the surface of their lives. They understand it not just intellectually, but with their whole being. And because they hear and understand, the seed does what it was created to do. It takes root, it grows strong, and it produces fruit. This fruit is the evidence of a changed life. It's a life that looks different because of the word that has taken root in it. It's a life characterized by love, compassion, generosity, and service. It's a life that reflects the character of the sower. The detail about the different yields, 100, 60, or 30-fold, is also important. It's a picture of grace. Not everyone produces at the same level. We all have different gifts, different circumstances, different personalities. The goal isn't to be a 100-fold Christian and look down on the 30-fold ones. The point is that all good soil produces something. There is a harvest. There is a tangible result. A life that has truly received the word will inevitably bear fruit. It might be a little, it might be a lot, but it will be real. Life itself outwardly. So what is this parable really about? It's not just a categorization of 4 types of people. It's a mirror. It forces us to ask a deeply personal question. What kind of soil is my heart right now? And the answer isn't static. This isn't a personality test where you find out you're a thorny ground type, and that's just who you are. The condition of our heart can change. We can have moments or even seasons where our hearts are hard like the path. We can have times where we are shallow and rocky, driven by emotion. We can certainly have long periods where we are choked by the worries and desires of the world. And we can have times where our hearts are soft, receptive, and fruitful. The parable is a call to spiritual gardening. It's a call to tend the soil of our own hearts. If your heart is hard, you have to ask why. What is trampling it down? How can you break up that compacted ground? It requires honesty and maybe some painful work. If your heart is shallow, how can you develop roots? Roots grow when they are tested. They grow when you push through the difficult questions, when you stick with it even when the feelings aren't there, when you commit to practices like prayer and study even when it's boring. You have to be willing to go deeper than the initial excitement. If your heart is thorny, you have to start pulling weeds. This is a constant battle. You have to identify the thorns in your life. What are you worried about? What desires are driving your decisions? What is choking your time, your energy, your focus? Weeding is hard work. It means saying no to some things, even good things, so you can say yes to the best thing. It means actively fighting against the clutter of the world to make space for the word to grow. The parable is also a profound encouragement and a reality check for anyone who tries to be a sower, anyone who shares the message. The sower's job is just to sow, liberally, everywhere. The outcome is not the sower's responsibility. It's the soil's. This frees us from the burden of results. We can't change anyone's heart. We can't make the seed grow. We just have to be faithful in scattering the seed. Some will have a false start. Some will get choked out. And some will produce a beautiful harvest. Our job is just to keep sowing. So, what is the parable really about? It's a fundamental lesson on the kingdom of God. It tells us that the kingdom doesn't advance by force or by clever marketing. It advances when the seed of God's truth finds a receptive human heart. It's a quiet, organic process. And it's a process that is often met with failure. 3 out of the 4 soils in the story failed to produce a crop. 95% failure rate. Jesus is being realistic. He's preparing his followers for the reality that not everyone will listen. Not everyone will respond, and that's okay, but the story ends with the harvest. It ends with the good soil. It ends with a yield so abundant that it makes all the wasted seed worthwhile. A 30, 60, or 100-fold return is an astronomical harvest in the ancient world. It's a picture of supernatural abundance. The point is that when the word does find good soil, the result is spectacular. It's world-changing. Ultimately, the parable leaves us with a choice. It lays out the options. You can be the path, the rock, the thorns, or the good soil. The sower is constantly sowing. The seed of truth is all around us all the time. It's in the scriptures. It's in the beauty of creation. It's in the kindness of a stranger. It's in that still small voice in our own conscience. The seed is being scattered. The only question that matters is, what kind of ground will it find when it lands on me? Today, in this moment. Am I hearing with an intent to understand? Is my heart prepared to receive it? Or is it hard, shallow, or cluttered? The parable doesn't condemn. It diagnoses. And it invites us to pick up a hoe and a rake and get to work on the soil of our hearts so that the life in that good seed can finally have a chance to grow. That's what it's really about.